button is officially pushed.
Bing bong.
Hello, anybody?
That's the sound of the button.
I thought that was the doorbell.
Oh, well, it's probably more of a doorbell than a podcast pod lab button starter. Go!
You're doing like the old school, like ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
The TV one or whatever. Yeah, nice.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the We Can't Pick a Title podcast. Yay. It's BG here.
Oh, and this is JT over here.
Co-host JT.
Ooh, I like that. I like cool host. Co-host.
I'm not sure.
Co-kenny.
Cool, no, all that.
Yeah, there's got to be something in there.
Yeah.
Some sort of derivative of co that I can work off of, you know.
Cane?
Hey, whatever you need to get your work off,
Coca-Cola,
you know, whatever you gotta do. You know?
Or cacophony.
Actually, I am having a Coca-Cola for the first time in, well, not that long, I guess, but having a mini can.
How does that make you feel about your hands?
Giant. These are my giant man hands I got here.
Doesn't make you feel like a delicate person with your tiny little can?
No, if I hold it like this with my pinky out, sort of. And,
well, you do all your fingers out except for the pointer.
Mm-hmm. It's fancier that way.
It's delicate.
The more fingers you can have, the better.
Like poking out from the drinking apparatus?
Yeah, that's one thing I was taught in my etiquette course.
Oh, yeah?
For tea drinking.
Did you read that on the back of a tea label?
I just made
on
that
a box?
Just
you
made
were
that
like
up.
all sad one day. Like, there's nothing to read in this house, Mom. Why don't you invent the internet? I'm just going to read these celestial seasonings blessings on the side of the fucking box here, I guess. See what this bear's doing on the back.
Tiger tea.
Tiger.
Tiger.
No, that's the ice cream. Tiger
It's
torch?
also good.
No, that's the thing for
That's
starting
for
your
lighting your bowls.
campfire.
Or campfires. Whatever. Starting your forge,
Or the grass that's growing too much in your field.
Well, you know what they say about grass in the field? You should
smoke it?
You should probably mow it.
Oh, okay.
And stuff. Or just smoke it. Either way, that's a better.
Let the horses out.
Yeah. That sounds like code word for something too. Psst,
let those horses out.
Oh man, I just had too much chili. Now I gotta go let the horses out.
Oh, that's savage.
There's a real stampede in here, you guys.
Letting her run.
Just letting her run free.
Gross. Going for a gallop.
Unbridled, you could say. Going for a gallop. Jesus Christ.
Oh, crap. Sorry, guys. I got all poopy right off the get-go. This is the Always Poopy podcast with Poopy Thompson and Poopy Hansen.
Yeah, I swear that was not my plan.
Plop, Plop Hansen and Poopy Thompson. That's how it happens.
I like that, though.
Yeah?
Kind of rolls off the tongue.
I would not put it anywhere near my tongue. You keep that plop away from me.
Keep those plops away from my tongue.
It tastes like freaking the best thing in the world, and I wouldn't know about it.
Speaking of bowls.
What do you got in there?
I jumped a line there.
How's your Segway?
Speaking of toilet bowls.
Segway, riding on my Segway. Jason gets a championship thing of Segways.
Segways and stuff.
Wow, that was quite the burp, Jason. You might have to leave that in because
that was something else.
That was like a rippler, but a burp form.
Coca-Cola burps.
Oh, soda induced.
Yeah, the old mini cans.
It's not beards.
It's kind of perfect though. There's the right amount because like anything more than that, I realize
it's just hot in the bottom of the can later, and you feel bad about throwing it away.
Yeah, spend the money on it. I don't want to drink it, but it's gross, so I better not drink it.
Turns out 222 mils is just the right one instead of 355.
Right, 222. That's my favorite.
Is that what it says, or?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, good job.
I have my glasses on, so
nice
I
reading
can
with
see
you.
Pretty far.
With your vision and your glasses there.
Eyes.
So, in the Bolsky today...
What you got in there?
We got a little gift from our little friend. She's pretty awesome.
Santa?
Oh, Santa Claus. I wish.
Santania?
Ooh, I wasn't expecting so many burps from the Coca-Cola.
Cut for Coca-Cola burp number 2.
Yeah, there we go. There's going to be lots of cuts in this one.
Cut that. You guys don't, unless you guys want to listen to the burps, I mean, you could write in and just be like...
Just hit me with all
yes
those.
To burps?
Yeah.
All the burps? burps.
Maybe they just prefer it like raw, uncut.
Just the
and
uncomedic.
just chock full of burps.
The uncomedic burps. We'll cut out the ones that aren't funny.
Farts and poops are funny, right? So
Are they?
Oh, yeah. Always.
Afterwards, when you're making a joke about it later.
Yeah. Not like during and when it's painful, you know.
It's painful. You're going to need some more fiber in your diet. Is what you're saying? Get to that multigrain.
Drink some of that castor oil.
The prune juice. You could probably just start with a piece of fruit or something. Soften it up slowly. Drink some water.
There's more cheese. It'll just jam her right out of there. You know, I think that's the trick, right?
Yeah, cheese and...
You just keep hammering it down.
And antacids.
Yeah, cheese.
That's not conducive for pooping. Just
Cheese
so
with
you
the
guys
sided
know.
roll-aids.
Yeah,
you know?
don't do that, you guys. I found that out recently.
The oily cheese doesn't like mix with your stomach acid, and just it's like a
It
instant,
did something.
like a fun party.
It did something, but
okay.
I didn't recommend it.
It's not a fun party.
No, I wouldn't recommend that. Well, you know, unless you're like going on a long trip and you don't want to poo, but you want to have to feel like you have to poo the whole time. And then have like cramping and bloating.
Somebody told me that one time, and I think I remember who it is, but I'm not going to say them out loud.
Roll-Aids
right
and cheese?
Now. No, but before I think it was like a buddy of theirs, before they would go camping,
Yeah.
he would take like a bunch of those Kraft singles, like
Yeah.
like a bunch, and like roll them all up or something into like a big old cheese log, and then just start eating it.
Oh.
And so that he wouldn't have to poop for like the next 2 or 3 days when they would go camping, because I think he was like a phobia of outhouses
shy
and
poop or something.
yeah, one of those kind of
Yeah,
not
I
pooping
guess
outside.
outhouses sort of suck.
But I was just like, well, that does not seem worth it in any way whatsoever. Because what if you do have to poop?
Maybe if
Then
you
it's the roughest poop you've ever had outdoors
Oh,
somewhere.
afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they just eat all the food poisoning, left out food at the end of it. They're like, no, I'll take those hot dogs that have been sitting in the sun
It balances
for
it out.
when they get home.
Yeah.
And then they just eat them while they're on the toilet, so they go right away.
You'd need like an extra 2 days off work after for shitting.
Oh, maybe.
You know,
You
I
work
would
from
assume.
home, doing all your paperwork.
Working in your office.
Just
doing,
a lot of flushing.
Doing your paperwork. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just fleshing out some details here. You know.
At the horse gallop.
Speaking of fleshing.
Yeah, what you got in your...
It's
there.
we don't really know the bag. I forgot to ask her. It said hybrid 11 on it. So I don't know if that's like some sort of
Was
futuristic
this the mystery
robot.
one that was left on the chair?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey.
Yeah,
Great.
it was just left on our chair on our porch there. And,
Yeah.
and we know who it came from.
Oh,
It
yeah.
wasn't an anonymous drop off or anything, but
Wasn't
you know.
like, oops, I left my bag of weed here.
Yeah. We put it out and put it in the lost and found and then put it out there. Did you lose your bag of weed? That'd be
People
awesome.
are like, no, that's not even mine. This is what mine looks like.
Well, that's like before we moved here
Yeah?
on the tide line or whatever.
Oh, right.
And it was like, I think a year before we moved here. And there was somebody that, it was an ad for, hey, did you leave your 6-pack of beer in the parking lot kind of deal.
Yep.
And they found like a 6-pack of whatever it was, Lucky Lager or something in the parking lot. And they put it out as an ad saying, hey, I have your 6-pack of beer here if you want to come and claim it.
Yeah, because they didn't want to leave it there.
Yeah. And didn't just take it. I love
Yeah.
that. That's such an amazing, just
That's
totally
sweet.
different way of thinking.
Yeah.
You know, most places you go, it's just like, free 6-pack, sweet, I'm taking that and I'm drinking it, and even if I don't drink, I'm going to take it because it's
Yeah.
there.
Wow.
You know, kind of
Wow.
attitude, right? But, well, that's great. I love that. That's one of the reasons why I fell in love with this
Yeah,
place.
we laughed super hard at that ad. It was,
Yeah.
it was like, oh my God, where is this place?
I remember showing it to my brothers and dad and everybody too, and they're like, holy hell, what kind of place is this?
Is this the most gullible people in the world? It's like,
Yeah.
no, just everybody is super thoughtful.
So I've been keeping it, we've been keeping it like low key where we live and everything. So I'm going to ask some locals and see how they feel about it, if it's cool or not cool. And
I think
'cause
it's more about people stalking us.
well, that's definitely as
But
long as
it's
they don't
pretty
know
hard
our
to get
home
to us.
address, right? You know,
Yeah.
yeah, they'd have to swim a long ways to
It's
get
at
to us.
911-666 Boulevard.
420
Yeah. We're at 420 degrees.
hybrid 11 lane.
Yep. Anyway, so this weed that our friend dropped off.
Oh yeah, let's try it out. I guess
Okay.
see how it goes.
It'll blow your hair back or whatever. Maybe it'll help us keep on tangent
Oh, there you
instead
go.
of off tangent.
Good word. Tangent. I like it. Is that a thing? Can you stay
don't know.
on tangent? I think the whole definition of tangent is to
There's like go off
go
on
askew
a,
kind of deal, but I don't know for sure.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Anyways, while Jason's lighting this bowl, I just want to do a special shout out to our wonderful friend and listener Megan on becoming an auntie. Welcome to the world,
Yay!
Lainey Marie.
Lainey Marie. Congrats, Megan. That's awesome.
Yay!
Hey!
Pretty cute baby pictures. that's
Auntie
for sure.
Megan. Is that what you're going to call yourself? Auntie Megan? Or come up with like a, Meg or something. Megalodon or, some other name. Some other nickname for yourself. Is that a thing? Or just Auntie?
I think just most aunties go by auntie, but
Or Auntie?
yeah, you can write in and let us know if you want to, if you hear this. you know.
Antichrist? No, that's... No.
No, that's somebody different.
Right. That's a whole other
That's-
person.
That's somebody I went to school with. Yes, Satan? Oh, sorry. Thought you were somebody else.
Yes, see.
Jason's just having lots of hoots and drinks. He's getting all, like,
There's a fucking party up in here, yo.
lubed up for
You know.
the adventure.
And open the door.
Go open that door.
Okay, ready?
Yeah. Should we knock and be like, come in? We used to have little doggies that would go fucking berserk if you had any kind of a movement in the house, let alone like a knock at the door or something.
Not like that kind of movement.
Well, they'd probably have a little freak out every time you poop.
I guess.
But, yeah, when Jason's dad, Danny, would come over, he had a doorbell ringtone.
Oh, yeah.
And anytime he would have, like, a notification on his phone or whatever, then the dogs would... So, within the first hour of being at the house when he'd come to visit, he's like, oh, right, my ringtone.
Yeah, you'd always have to change it.
Yeah, we're pretty jumpy every time we hear that. Still, the dog's been, Milo's been passed away a year ago yesterday. And so we've been doggy free, but we have Beastie, as you guys know, and Van Gogh, our birdie friend.
Well, and I think it traumatized Dad a little bit, too.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, he had to change it just for his own sake, because I think he expected to... every time his phone would go off. Yeah, this is good weed. I like it.
Yeah,
it's
it
sort of...
tastes
it's got, like, a... almost no taste, sort of, to it, which is good. I'm not complaining. Like, it's like...
Yeah, there isn't that usual green, carbony smoke
Yeah, or,
kinda
like...
flavor.
Or fruity, overcompensating.
Yeah, it's not
flavor,
perfumey.
No. Yeah, which drives
Sort of
me
reminds
crazy.
me of, like, lemons, but, like, just, like, the tiniest little bit. Like if you got a lemon water in the summertime, and it was, you know how they have just the right amount of lemon in it?
Okay.
And you're like, oh, I think there's some lemon in there, but it's, like, really light and just, like, a, for me,
I'm not
anyways.
getting that at all. I'm getting hints of
Ashtray?
hints
or
of.
dirty pipe?
I just cleaned it.
I know.
I cleaned my pipe. My pipe is clean.
Got your pipes cleaned,
Yeah,
did
I
you?
got my pipes cleaned out.
Aww.
You got to do it every now and then. Get your pipes cleaned out, and
Yep.
you go down and see the guy. I got a
Dude.
guy who cleans my pipes, or girl.
I bet,
Whatever.
whoever's available.
Whatever you're into. Yeah, that's true.
You did fix the toilet the other day. That was pretty impressive.
Speaking of clean pipes.
Yeah.
It's a fucking toilet NATO now. I think it's crazy. That's the fastest filling toilet in the world. I'd like to put it up against like competitions. You know, it's hardcore.
Yeah, there was some debris in our well. I guess somebody had done some work across the road or whatever, and they figured it messed up the water table, and so it was different. So there was a bit of sediment and stuff that like blasted through when they replaced the pump, and so it's it was like filling up really slowly because there was just like a little bit of debris all built up against the screen. So Jason, and there isn't the normal like underneath you can usually like turn a little knob and shut the water off. So we couldn't find that, so he went for it.
A little different setup here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a bit of a island plumbing.
It
kinda
wasn't quite like
scenario
a
that's
spray all over the bathroom situation.
It was close. It was a couple
but
times.
he had to catch it and be like, "Whoa, Jesus, Lord Jesus!"
I'm glad I left the screws and screwdriver within arm's reach.
Yeah,
because that would have been in trouble.
It could have been mopping the ceiling situation.
It
maybe.
would have been a decision like, do I try to just make this happen, or do I just stand here for how long until you come home?
Do I just
holding
cry?
this water back? Yeah. Do I just cry and sob and
Or do
call
I
it a
put
day?
the lid on and then just turn the music up? And
I had a whole scenario built up of like pulling down the shower curtain or something and using it or using something to bank it into the
to
tub and
deflect
everything.
it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I just put something down on top of it and it would like squeeze over into the shower. You know.
I'm glad you were thinking it all through, but then
yeah.
you could reach the other stuff.
Yeah, I decided, okay, let's just put it back together and see what happens. And yay, fixed.
Yay! Still
I'm
got to jiggle the
excellent
handle
plumber.
sometimes because the
Yeah, that's another fix.
Yeah,
Still,
the
it's not.
chain's a little long, maybe.
It's not 100%, but it's.
Oh, yeah, no. We're not calling the president over here to inspect it or
But it
anything.
fills fast. I'm telling you now, it's
Yeah.
like done. You
Yeah.
know, maybe not that fast, but pretty fast.
Dang fast. Considering before it was like, if you went to the bathroom and then somebody else had to go to the bathroom, it took a good 5 minutes for the whole back of the tank to fill up, at least. And that was if the chain was in the right position. If the chain happened to be underneath, then it would have just gone all freaking day. So thank goodness we're really, conscious of that. We don't want to run the water all day long. So, yeah. Anyways, Jason saved the day.
More money, more problems. As they say with the old.
What?
I don't know.
No.
No.
Did you make some money on fixing the toilet?
No.
Okay.
No.
There's one more piece to fix, the little flap thing. We're going to fix that. We got one in town. But how are you guys' toilets doing? They flush pretty good?
You got a sweet toilet there. Real.
It's a nice toilet.
Solid gold.
Oh, wasn't that what your roommate used to call ladies' butts?
Yep.
Was a toilet?
Yeah.
I was like, are you pooping into it? Like, why are you calling that the toilet? Because,
Toilet.
I don't understand.
Dumpster.
Yeah, she's got a nice
Got a
dumper.
real nice dumper
And
on
I
her.
get that, because you take dumps from the poop. Yeah. I don't know. It was weird.
It was gross.
I think he was like, maybe got onto porn before he actually got to be with like actual women or anybody that could be like, no, that's not what it's called.
I just think he knew he'd get like a aw out of all of us.
Yeah, maybe he was just being reactive and gross in front of you guys.
That's how we do it. Back in the day. Gross boys. Gruesome twosome. Gruesome sixthsome.
Gruesome lots of you guys.
Yeah, we're all pretty gruesome.
DV for life. Anyways, so how about that cryo cuff that you got going on? What's that about?
Oh, that's my new toy. Well, does it count as a toy?
Well, if you're having fun with your medical apparatuses, then I guess it's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it vibrates, so that's fun.
What?
You
You didn't tell me about that function.
know.
Ice cold and vibrates. I'm like,
Maybe not. It's that whole ice cold thing. It's pretty sweet, though. I don't know if the folks out there know or not, or have heard, but I hurt my knee. I don't know,
Yeah.
got to be like 3 months ago now or so.
Yeah, back at like probably before we even started the podcast.
Tore, oh yeah, I wonder actually, hey? Tore a ligament on the other side and probably ACL tear as well, so that's all fun.
Some soft tissue damage situation.
And then voila, I was like, man, I just need a way to like hold the ice or something on my knee. It was like I don't want to say I manifested it, but maybe I did. Because I didn't even know the things
You
existed.
don't want to say? Why don't you want to say that you manifested it?
Well, I don't like to brag about it. Mainly.
Well, don't brag about it. Just say that you manifested it.
So-
You don't have to be like, I'm better than you.
I basically
by
am the best
getting
manifester out there out of anyone. When I go to manifest, it's probably the best manifesting anybody's ever seen or heard.
Good job, Jason.
And so I manifested the shit out of this air-cast cryo cuff thing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So where'd you get it?
On the tide line.
No way.
Same spot
Our
thing we were talking about before.
Our little local paper.
I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to put out to some locals, and if the overall majority says, yeah, go ahead, talk about court.
Oh, God.
I almost said it right there.
Your core values?
Yeah, talking about my core values. And that was great.
I don't think anybody cares other than people could stalk us. I think that's why people don't say where they're from.
That totally brings up a story from my childhood.
You
That
guys
was
aren't going
great.
to stalk us, are you? No, we don't have any dicks on this one. You got a story from your childhood, Jason?
Yeah, that, I just
About your
almost
core
spewed the
values?
name. And I was in school.
Yeah.
In like grade 6 or something. And part of this thing, high Q is what it was called. So it was like
Okay.
the smart kids, the nerd kids, the ones that were like good at trivia and that kind of stuff. And I was a really good speller. It was basically why I was on the team. I could spell whatever you wanted.
You could spell the
shit out of SHIT, you know?
Yep.
I don't know. And, and I was quizzing, and then we had these other kids that were new. They were like grade 4s. I was in grade 6, right? So, you know, teach the new kids what they're doing. So you'd quiz them. And one of the questions, like, you know, where is there the most volcanoes in the world? I don't even know if that was the actual question. But, and then they're all like, they hit the buzzer, and I pointed at the kid and went, Hawaii! And just like, instead of the kid's name, it was like David or Joey or whatever like that. I just went, Hawaii! Right at him. And then I just like, they all looked at me and we all started laughing. And I like totally did like a face palm thing. Like, oh man.
Because you were supposed to press a button?
They were supposed to press the button and say Hawaii, because that was the answer. But I pointed just right at him, got all excited about it, because I knew the answer because I'm looking right at it written in front of me and everything. Yeah, it was so funny. I don't know. Yeah. It was probably funnier to me than anybody listening now.
It's kind of like when you watch the game shows now.
I guess, yeah. I just spout it out. I can't help it. Yeah. Actually, when I'm watching Jeopardy, it's funny. I realized last time when we were watching it that, like, if I definitely know the answer, I won't even say the answer. I just sort of smirk or laugh or something. Usually, like, oh yeah, do one of those. But then if I'm not sure, then.
His ego is swole this week. He worked out big time.
It's kind of below me to answer questions that I already know. I was going to say that. Anybody that knows me on Facebook.
You're just like smirking because I got it wrong?
I'm just waiting. That's why I don't answer. I wait for you to answer wrong and then point at it and, ha ha, it's Hawaii.
Stupid.
It's Dumper. I want to know that Jeopardy question. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Dumper's not really a word, so I'm trying to come up with a Jeopardy question for it. It's not going to work.
Not going to happen.
Yeah. Anyway.
What does Tom call a lady's bottom?
Oh, there you go.
I'll take Dumper for 300, please. Oh, I'm mixing up all my different games. We didn't really watch game shows much growing up.
Oh, no?
No, not really.
What did you guys watch growing up?
We didn't really watch TV growing up. I think my folks had like the 6 o'clock news on just to, you know, be a part of the real world or whatever they thought that was about. And
back when news was actual news?
Yeah, find out if there's a war or something happening. And then...
Fraggle Rock?
Yeah, sometimes we got to watch Fraggle Rock when that came on. But before then, yeah, it was like when we were really little, we did... Sesame Street was on at like noon or 11 or something like that.
Okay.
So we would watch Sesame Street while Mom made lunch, you know. So you're sitting in front of the TV.
Oh, right.
She's like, you know, just in the other room making lunch. And then...
Tomato soup and grilled cheese.
Yeah, whatever. She was it too. Something's buzzing. Did you hear that?
No.
Maybe it's that wasp. There's a wasp hanging out here. Okay, it stopped. It was just like a...
It wants to be a podcast too. Waspcast.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's like
Pod wasp.
Wintertime here now almost. Well, technically fall, but there's like... I did put one outside. Maybe it's ringing the buzzer. Maybe it's like... We have like a little... It's buzzing in other wasps.
It's inside a bell somewhere.
Oh, no.
Just resonating out. That'd be awesome.
Nah, not for the wasp. It's too cold for wasps right now.
Wasn't there a wasp in the last episode too?
There could have been, yeah. Well,
or a spider.
It was coming from me. There was a spider. So we do live. It's not tropical.
We're not outside.
It's
well,
not
a little
tropical.
bit outside, but you know.
Yeah.
Just because we got parrots around us, it's not tropical. It is a rainforest.
If you light the wood stove and then all the critters are like, oh, it's nice in there.
I guess it still gets cold in the tropics, right? Just at night?
Probably.
How's that work?
If it's windy.
Further south you go, I guess.
Or rainy or something.
Right? Yeah.
So any more stories about your childhood? Or how smart
you are?
No, and
I can't remember what jumped that into my brain. Oh, I was talking about the local stuff and talking about locals and almost gave out the clue.
Oh, no.
Maybe we should make it a contest if you can guess.
Yeah.
You know.
I can think of a few people who know.
That's like instantly, I'm like, oh shit, that won't last long.
You win bragging rights? I
Yeah.
don't know, because it's going to get expensive. A lot of you guys know where we're at.
I put something on Facebook a while ago. I can't even remember what it was now, but it was like, first comment gets a shout out kind of deal. Nobody commented anyway, so.
Oh, nobody commented.
No. You guys, you got to participate a little bit more on our Facebook page. It'll be a lot more fun for all of us.
Yeah, Jason started up a Facebook page for us, and so there's not a huge following yet, but I think there's a lot of people that got off of Facebook. But
super thankful for the followers that are on there, though. I think we're up to like 30-something now.
Holy
it grows more all the time.
Hey, guys.
So.
Thanks, guys.
It's kind of a weird balance, that whole thing of like, do you put it on your personal page, and then you're also your other page, and then it sort of, you got to walk that line of, do you flood it? And then people get sick of it.
Yeah.
You know, you got to just sort of pepper it in here and there, I find. Yeah. It sort of helps for the socials, as they call them.
Yeah. Queen Herbie has a whole episode about that on the House of Herbie.
Ooh, yeah?
Yep.
All right. You were talking about her on the last one, too. Yay. She's got a pretty good podcast, eh?
Oh, yeah. They're great on there. That's your thirstiest Coke there?
It's pretty good.
Thirstiest Coke of the world. Yeah, so we got a cougar hanging around, and not like the kind that's after younger men.
Not like a cosmopolitan, drinking, swilling.
Well, maybe.
Cougar.
I don't know if it's a boozer. But, yeah, it was like making cougar sounds and stuff, and scratched up a horse. You doing some cougar sounds? Like, Jason, do you know any cougar sounds?
Hey, bartender! Bartender, over here! Hey, bartender!
You want to buy me a fancy drink?
How about a fancy beer?
Not saying all cougars are alcoholic.
No, not alcoholic.
No.
But definitely when they're on,
A lot of cougars like drinking?
when they're on the cougar prowl.
Oh,
I
right.
think
You
it
got to
really
loosen up.
Helps to, juice yourself up a bit.
Feel
And,
the
yeah.
juices flowing around. He's
So
doing
that when
like
you
kitty
pounce,
cat claw.
you don't really feel the pain when you miss your pounce and you land face first on the cement. And,
You're sad crying outside bumming a smoke.
Yeah. And you
I've
don't
been
feel
there.
your ankles breaking every 4.5 feet every time you take a step on your 8-inch long heels.
I'm getting feedback when my phone gets a notification, I think.
Feedback through your headphones?
Yeah, but it's just really
Obviously.
quiet and it's like...
Because it's vibrating.
I don't know that it is.
Because your phone vibrates, right?
There's no more coming through. I'm just going to take a look at you guys. Hang on just a sec.
You put it beside you on your...
Michelle has sent me a thing about dogs.
Oh.
And looks like my cousin Diane and my other cousin Lorianne both like to link. There you go, guys. We're all caught up. Now we know.
We're cut up on Bobby's Facebook.
There you go.
That's exciting.
To the cousins.
This
And Michelle.
cut that.
What? They like it. They get a little shout out. Do your cousins comment? Not sure.
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah, actually,
Hi,
some of them do.
cousins. Jason's got some pretty great cousins.
Yeah.
I don't
Definitely
think
lots.
there's plenty.
Well, they're all
plentiful.
great.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I didn't mean to
I was
say
like,
that
I
they
don't know
weren't.
if there's any that are
No, I didn't mean like
crappy.
that. No, that's what I mean.
Which is surprising because there's so many.
So that's what I meant. But
They
yeah,
rent
surprise.
a hall to have not the cousins, but like all the family rents the hall just
Yeah, big ass open hall and you just
for family functions.
pack in 250
like
people in there.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving,
or
Christmas,
Christmas.
and weddings and
Yeah, weddings. You expect them to rent a
anniversary
hall, but
parties and
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
yeah. It's fun because
Having a big family is great that way.
it's one of those things where you don't realize that a lot of people don't do that. And we didn't do that necessarily growing up, but we jumped over to that. I think it came
I
pretty
think once
clear.
it was once your generation started having kids,
Yeah, exactly.
it was like, oh shit, nobody's house is fitting them all.
That's nobody wants all those people in their house.
Yeah.
I'm not cleaning up after all that. It's a lot easier just to clean up a hall.
Yeah.
And then, everybody's there and they
Everybody
can all do
bring
it.
their stuff, and then everybody
Yeah.
goes after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was
pretty
pretty
great.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'd never experienced a large family like that before. I think the biggest family suppers we had was like at Grandma Vina's or Auntie Judy's, and there'd be like, about 20 people would be the most that there ever was. So
yeah, those are always fun.
So
I
it
like
was
that.
a little overwhelming going into your family and there being like that many people. I was like, ooh, Lord.
Like
and then
50
everybody wants to
tables.
talk to you because you're like the new face, and they're
right.
like, oh yeah, well, if Jason's with her, well then she's got to be fun. Yeah.
We can.
It was a bit overwhelming meeting everybody, but you all are fantastic, and I'm glad I know you know.
We can get away with a lot talking to her.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Too Far
Yeah.
Thompson's.
Yeah, she won't be offended by anything I say to her.
Oh
That
my
should be easy.
God. Yep.
She can put up with Jason.
The wild cards have arrived. I don't know. Do you guys have big families, little families? What's it like?
Yeah.
We had kind of littler families. There'd be, not that many people at the functions.
Yeah, it's kind
Still
of different
got
now.
together and stuff, but
I like it your Auntie Judy's with the big long table, just the single sort
Yeah.
of big long table. I like that. That's cool. I don't know if it's all one table or not, but it's
I
all
think
nicely
it might
covered
be
up. But
two.
yeah,
Yeah.
they bring in another one from somewhere,
Yeah,
from outside.
fold out situation or something.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome.
families and stuff.
Yeah.
I kind of miss it sometimes.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
They have the functions at the hall though, which is great. So you get you can always go to those, and then there's usually some friends around that are like, "Hey, we're the wild card Christmas supper place." Scotty and Shelly had us over a few times when
Yay.
we weren't off traveling to go somewhere for Christmas or wherever. Coca-Cola burps.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Speaking of halls,
Deck the halls with boughs of
folly.
whatever you got. Na 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 na.
With whatever you got, that's a good way to put it, actually. 'Cause
Yeah,
what if
yeah.
I don't have holly?
Well, holly's
And boughs
really
of-
prickly.
Well, exactly.
And
Why
super
do I want to even
invasive.
deal with that?
I wouldn't.
Hang it up somewhere where it could just fall on your face.
Yeah.
That's no fun. That's sort of a pessimistic
And then when it
attitude,
dries out,
but,
it's like extra gnarly.
Oh, I bet. Because then it's all sort of curled in on itself, too,
Yeah.
and then sharp and extra pokey.
Sharp! It's sharp!
Deck the halls with boughs of barbed wire.
There you go. Nature's barbed wire. La 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 la.
Holly, it's nature's barbed wire. That's great.
You're welcome. Brought to you by Nature's Barbed Wire.
I was going to say, speaking of halls, we got invited to do a game night, I guess we'll probably end up doing.
Yeah.
Some sort of board game / puzzle /
Yeah.
cards
Social
and
night.
host the hell out of that thing and plug the hell out of the podcast. And I'm pretty shameless when it comes to
Yeah.
marketing
Well,
and branding, right? So
I think it's great if, it's other like-minded people, Tell people. It's always good.
yeah, for sure. I think that'll be fun
Yeah.
at the local hall. That's one of the things I want
That was a really soundular swallow
to
there.
gulp there.
And it was like
Sorry.
after
Sometimes I forget that I'm actually
really mouthy.
mic'd up and I just get into it and get talking.
You're like,
and
I'm gonna drink some more pop
Yeah,
as we're
exactly.
doing it.
It's pretty tasty, apparently. I don't have it that often, but when
Sorry.
I do. The mini cans are
You're
like...
talking about plugging the
I can't
lights
even
in or
remember.
something?
Plugging something in.
You're plugging
the
in your
car
lights?
in because it's cold outside.
yeah.
I don't know.
Did I tell you about that time that I got the what do you call that when when you plug your car in? What's that called?
The block heater?
Block heater.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I came from I'm gonna say Vancouver Island.
Okay.
So I was living out on Vancouver Island, and then we moved out to Alberta to Drayton Valley, and I had this little Toyota Camry, and I was like, everybody was like, "Hey, plug it in. It's minus freaking whatever." So I would go out there, and I'm looking under the hood, and there's no thing to plug anything into. So I was like, "There isn't one," and nobody believed me. So they all came outside, and they're like, "Where the fuck did this car come from? Mexico or something?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know. She kept it in the garage in the winter. It was owned by an old lady that had it before. She really pampered it." And so I was like, oh shit, I gotta get a block heater. It gets to minus 30 here. So I take it down to Canadian Tire, and they're like, yeah, sure, we can do that for you. Leave it with us for the weekend or whatever, because they're really busy. Left it there, and went in a couple days later, took a taxi down there or whatever, paid for it, went out to the car, popped the hood, and I, was like, okay, well, I don't really see it. And then I went back in, they're like, oh shit, we didn't do it. And I'm like, but I paid for it. And they're like, yeah. We didn't get to it. And I'm like, I got a road trip. I'm going up to visit my brother in St. Paul. We got to drive 3.5 hours. It's fucking December. Like, I have to have...
Even colder up there.
Yeah, I have to have this thing installed. And they're like, oh, I don't know. And so I, like, took my car and went back to work. And at work, the girls were like, no, fuck that. You call them up and you are like, no, you're putting it in there.
Yeah.
And I'm going to stand here until you have it put in. And so... So I call back and tell them, nope, you have to do this for me. You got to fit it in. I've already fucking paid for it.
Yeah, exactly.
And you don't have it. And they're like, we can maybe get you in next week. And I was like, no, talk to the manager. Talk to the manager. The manager's like, this is ridiculous. I'm sorry this happened. Yeah, bring your car in.
Nice.
So I bring my car in, get somebody else to drive down with me so I can get a ride back up. And to have this thing done, they're like, yeah, it'll be done by the end of the day, but it's going to be like the parts part will be closed up by the time I could get done work to come back to get the car. But they're like, I promise you, it's going to be done. So I'm like, okay, great. Go back down there. There's a cord hanging out of the front of my car. I'm like, fucking tits. They did it. Good job. I stood up for myself. This is great.
Yeah.
So about 2 years goes by. And I'm taking my car in to get it serviced for some other thing in the front. And the mechanic is like somebody that knows me, right? So we're kind of like on a jokey basis or whatever. And he asks me why I have a cord tied to the front of my car. There was no fucking block heater, you guys. They had taken an extension cord, whatever, cut a piece off, tied it to the inside of the bottom of the underneath of my fucking car. There was no block heater installed.
That's insane.
And just was like, here you go, lady. Like, fucking kudos to that little 1990 Toyota Camry. Started up all the fucking time. I was like, oh man, it must be really cold. She's a little grumpy at minus 25.
Did you ever plug it in, assuming it's working and everything?
I plugged it in every day, all winter for 2 fucking years, thinking, oh, it's just because she's an old car that she's still having trouble starting. That little whippersnapper started up.
That's great.
No problem. Most of the time was a little grumpy. Because it wasn't fucking plugged in.
You're lucky it didn't start a fire or something, like depending on what kind of end they left on the other side of it, right?
They had it crimped off and attached to something, so if you pulled on it, so they brought me, maybe I was getting tires changed or something, and I went and looked underneath the car because they had it jacked up, and they're like, here you go, have a look, and I was like, what the fuck? And so this had been 2 years.
That's crazy.
So I called Canadian Tire in tears, and they're like, we don't have a record of you ever getting any service done here. So somebody scammed me, took the cash, because I save up everything for cash and pay things in cash because I'm a hairdresser, and I would saving up my tips to get this fucking block heater put in, and they wouldn't do anything about it. I had a receipt. I showed them. It had the dates. It had the times. I had the little work order printout and everything. Nope, nobody ever did anything about it, and I just still didn't have a block heater in my car.
That's crazy.
Canadian Tire.
Hell. That's brutal.
Bastards. Yeah.
In DV?
Yeah, that was the Drayton Valley one. My stepsister had a really bad run-in with the one in Courtney, too.
Oh, okay.
Way back when she brought her car in for, like, an oil change or something, and they told her that she had, I'm going to say, coolant in her oil system, and that she needed a whole new flush, and she shouldn't be driving her car, and, like, my nephew was in, like, I'm going to say, kindergarten or grade 1 at the time, and she had to go pick him up, and they're like, you shouldn't be driving this death trap, and scared the hell out of her. So, of course, talks to my dad, and my dad's like, no, your car's okay. Like, my dad does small engine repair, so he was like, no, unless something major happened, like, that's not a thing. So they took it to, like, some trusted old guy behind the mall some small tiny shop, and the guy stayed late because Corey was crying, and You know, he got her all tiddled up. Oh, I think she just needed her tires changed or something simple like that, too. And they're like, well, we'll do an inspection. And they're like, it's going to be $7,000. They had her sign, like, trying to sign her up for a credit card through Canadian Tire so that she could pay for it to get her car back.
That's crazy.
And they hadn't done the work yet, but they're like, we're going to do this work or we're not going to release your car. Fully bullying her. So
that's such bullshit.
And it
man.
was crazy. It was
that.
within a couple of years, like that it happened here, and then it happened to her, and then me in Alberta, and I was like, "What's wrong with Canadian Tire fucking mechanics? Like, are they on commission? Like?"
Well, that's what I was gonna say, especially Canadian Tire or anything where you're making an hourly wage, anyways.
Yeah.
Like if you're not owning your own shop, well, there's no excuse at all for that whatsoever. Help the fucking person out.
Yeah.
And do your job. Well, charge what's according and make your money.
With mine, I think that they just like somebody rang it through and then probably deleted it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And then was like, this dumb broad doesn't know anything.
Right. Yeah. Hey.
And then just kept the money, and then there was no work order. So
how
then
many
when
times
they got
did they get away with that or other scams too? Hey,
who knows?
Well, that's why I said, like, there's enough times where that shit happens where somebody's house starts on fire because of faulty cords or faulty block heaters or faulty whatever on its own, let alone whoever knows whatever end they left on there. You're plugging it in and stuff. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh. I had a propane truck with 3 block heaters on it.
What?
Once. Yeah, it was running on propane. So which is super icy cold.
Yep.
And in minus 30.
Oh, right.
That's why you just don't see a lot of trucks in Alberta on propane anymore or anything, because it's just a pain in the ass.
It's a seasonal.
Yeah, I had to go out like almost every morning in the winter and run like a big old kettle of hot water and then run it out there and pour it over. It's called the mixer, which like turns your propane into actual gas, and then that's what fires it and stuff, just to get it started.
Thaw the outside enough that the gas could be combustible.
Could be, exactly.
Whatever.
Yeah, to do anything.
Crazy.
Yeah, and I had like 3 block heaters and then a cab heater also, but it was actually pretty sweet because once I had all that installed, I'd get inside my truck and it was already like warm. Like I'd be running the heater for 10 minutes.
Oh, nice.
Just because of the overall warmth of all that. It was awesome. Yeah, I don't know how much power it was sucking back at the time, but, worth it.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy. That was a crazy truck.
It gets really cold out there.
Yeah, hey.
I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't realize, that you could, like, burn your skin just in the air.
Well, and it's totally, like, everybody says it's a different cold out here, which it literally is. Like, it's such a, out here, you can't last 10 seconds or 20 seconds out in the cold if your, like, skin is exposed.
If there's
wind.
wind.
You can, but it really sucks.
Because of the humidity.
Yeah, it just really starts to feel like it's almost like burning or, like, I don't know, like, just scathing. That's the best word for it. It just feels like...
into your bones almost.
Yeah, it just starts to sting, and, it's brutal. But,
probably shouldn't be putting your hands in those puddles.
-5. That's the thing, like, -5 here is, like, fine, minus 35.
Oh, yeah.
In Alberta.
Well, it never
even
lasts
then, it's
long
still a
here.
different cold. But...
So what else do you want to talk about?
That truck. It was pretty sweet. My buddy Cale rode on the top of it one time. And, he
on your propane truck?
Yeah, he like hopped onto the roof of it and was like holding on to like both sides, like action hero sort of style. And
crazy.
I decided at the time, like, all right, let's go for a ride. So I just fucking, and I was like taking pretty good around the corner like that. And he's like holding on, and no, it was like the middle of summer or whatever it was and stuff. Yeah, and it was like a huge jacked up truck. So he would have launched off like from 20 feet in the air at least or so, and then it was so brutal.
Making
and then
good
I think
decisions.
I just hammered on the brakes and he dunk down the front and everything. Jeez. Good times, that truck.
You guys were playing good guys, bad guys?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Nobody got run over?
No, nobody ever really got run over unless it was
on purpose.
Well,
unless they were tied to the train tracks.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say on purpose because that sounds like
in distress.
I'm not sure what statute of limitations is probably over for all that shit by now.
You're not allowed to run anybody over. Just like morally, you probably shouldn't.
No, I don't know. You just get in trouble for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, trouble.
Then you're that guy
at the hen house. So did you drive around like crazy quite a bit growing up, like or stunting or?
Well, I mean, officially that's what they would call it, is stunting. I
Yeah,
guess.
that's what the cops called it.
Yeah, that's what the Crown Legislature called it. And provincial courts of Alberta tend to call it. And
They like to put labels on stuff.
I know, right? I called it, having fun and learning how to drive properly.
Trying out your car, because
You
you had many different cars, so I'm sure you had to, like, try them all out to see what it can do.
You got to put them through their paces a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to, like, get out of the way of other
know.
cars if it's coming at you.
I like to say that they were, stifling my aspiring dreams to be like a drifter, a race car driver kind of thing.
Not like a drifter from, like, city to city.
No, not like a shiftless hobo kind of
okay.
drifter.
Okay.
No, like
Just
a
checking.
professional race drifter kind of thing.
Just
And that
'cause
was
you
before
race
there was
from
even
town to
drifting.
town.
Yeah, we used to call it fishtailing. I'm a professional drifter, race drifter even. Go from race to race to race. And
Because you're
it's a
wearing
ride.
makeup?
It's a ride,
Because you're wearing bad makeup? In costume?
in costume. No.
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 Not because of different races.
Aw, race drifter.
It's like
Holy
a shapeshifter,
shit.
but you can be different races.
I see.
There's probably people out there that do that. No?
Definitely, there's like...
You need a minute just to like soak that in. Be like, where's she going, you guys?
I automatically went to like full...
Race drifter.
Yeah.
No, you were just going fast and turning and like sliding, fishtailing around.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
Is we didn't even call it drifting back in the day. It was just
No.
called like fishtailing. And,
Yeah, not till the movie came
there
out.
was no such thing as understeer and oversteer. You were just ripping it around a corner.
Just wee.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was fun. The one time, I think it was last episode. I can't remember what I was talking about now, but I ended up talking about being that guy, where I told on somebody and then gotten everybody in trouble for it or something. I can't remember what it was.
How to being fair. Because, we got to be fair. It's not the same.
Right. Oh, yeah, exactly. Everything's got to be fair. So and that brought up another story for me. We were ripping around one time back in the day, and my buddy Jerry, he had like a Mazda 323, so just a little car, a little four-door,
Sporty.
brown
Hot hatch situation.
not even a hatch, just a little 80s,
Sporty.
yeah, almost even a family car kind of thing,
Okay.
And I had a 81 Trans Am, black, Smokey and the Bandit style kind of thing. There'll be lots of
Sounds
people,
fast.
maybe our listeners in TV will remember that car, but yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun to drive, and so we're ripping and going down to the local sports complex, the Omniplex we call it.
Yep.
And Jerry goes ripping through, and it used to be gravel, and now it's cement. And you'd go from the cement to the gravel, and you could always like just hammer on your gas and turn it a little bit, and you could like almost do like a nice drift to the left, and then a drift to the right, and then you're into the parking lot, and then you could pull donuts and have all kinds of fun in there.
So it was all gravelly parking lot, too.
Yeah. So then Jerry does that. So then I do the exact same thing, basically, literally the exact same thing. And then, whoo, cops out of nowhere. He sees me, pulls me over, and I, over-explain, and oh my God, shouldn't be happening. And he's like, I saw you. I saw you, do it. And so I'm like, fuck, okay, whatever, you caught me. And I was
But
like,
I was just following this guy.
and that's exactly. I was like, but Jerry did the same thing, and why isn't he getting? And I don't even know if I mentioned like that because I wasn't that much of a dick. I don't want to be that guy, And like, but it was like, if you're letting him off, why aren't you letting me off? And at the time, it was because this cop was being a dick. He was literally harassing me. We ended up having to go.
He was stalking
We had
you.
to go to the local
Yeah.
detachment and sort of say like he was literally harassing me. He was pulling me over 3 times a day because he was a dick. And the other cops,
He
knew
decided
he was
it
a
was
dick.
personal, and he was making
Yeah.
an example out of you.
I guess so. I
something.
think.
Who knows?
I think a big part of it was because, at least at the time, I thought I knew his job better than he did,
Right.
and in a lot
That-
of ways I did.
That ego coming in again.
the old Thompson ego kicking up
didn't
into
like
there.
your ego?
Well, I like to
Aw.
call it confidence.
He didn't like your confidence.
But I knew I read the
ego?
Canadian Charter Code and everything, the rights and everything, so I knew what I was talking about.
Oh no.
That was the other problem, is I
Yeah.
knew the law, so I knew what I was talking about.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that either, because he didn't know the law. He's the type of guy that, like,
Made it through.
he just squeaked through, and nobody else liked him. None of the other cops liked him. He couldn't pass the exams to get any higher up because he was an idiot.
Yeah, he'd been
you
in
know?
the force like 30 years and could
Yeah.
never get to
Could
the next
never get
level.
promoted any higher 'cause he was a
nobody,
fucking
nobody
Just a dick.
They all knew that he wouldn't be okay with that much power.
Yeah, he was just a dick. So anyway, he's the one that pulled me over. And I knew that that's why. And that's why I raised the stink. It wasn't like, it's not fair, blah, 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 I'm going to throw him under the bus.
But he didn't stop the first guy.
No, exactly. Yeah, and he had to have been sitting there and watching.
Yeah, there's no other way to get into that area.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you know. So it was like, it just pissed me off because I was done at that point. I was like, fuck, come on, man. You know, whatever. Just stop pissing me off and stop harassing me and stalking me. And the first, I'm going to say, a dozen times he pulled me over, I was very polite. I was very cool, and here's my license and registration. Thank you for my speeding ticket, whatever polite, it was. Good boy. You know, yeah, exactly. You know, and then it became just, I wasn't even doing anything, and he was pulling me over. Yeah. Like lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. And then
he
just
didn't like
more
that
and more
you got to have nice cars.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know what his deal was, but anyway. So then I remember it pissed me off because he's like, oh, okay. So then he walks over, hands Jerry a ticket too, and gives him another one for stunting too. Oh. You know, and I was like, and I was pissed off. I was extra pissed off because he told me the whole time, oh, I didn't see him. All I saw was you. I didn't see him.
Well, he can't give the other guy a ticket if...
Thank you. That's what I said. So. That's what I said. I was like, well, how can you give him a ticket now? You just admitted to me that you didn't see him do it. How can you give him a ticket for it now? And he didn't like that because I threw it in his face. You know, I was very much a name and badge number kind of guy growing up. But a big part is because nobody else wanted to either. Well, I was always the guy that they're like, oh, blah, 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 and push me to the front of the crowd because I would talk to the cops.
So, you know? When them damn coyotes played at the theater, was that you out front when somebody broke their leg?
Is that what happened? Somebody broke their leg?
Yeah, somebody broke their leg out front, but they were just goofing around or whatever and wound up breaking their leg. It wasn't that there was a fight or anything. And
that was dumb, though. That cop was telling that guy to go and drive. Yeah. He'd get in your car and drive away, and he was noticeably very drunk.
Yeah.
But that was the cop's solution to break up the fight between this group and this group, was to let these guys go and drive away in their car. I'm like, just let them walk up the road. Yeah. Oh, you guys will follow them and kick their ass. Like, no, we'll keep everybody here. I told them that 100%. We're all good. We're not going to do that. It was just a stupid fight that broke out. Yeah. You know? And then it went off. He was like, that's what it was. He yelled at me from being in my shorts in the middle of winter because I was wearing shorts.
Well, it was hot in there.
He called me like some fatso or something in your stupid shorts.
Oh, my God.
You know, yeah, he pissed me off.
Were you guys filming, or were you filming that? Or no, you guys were just there because you guys know everybody there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, just like local situation.
Yeah, I think it was just they're playing, and it was the CD release party, I think.
No, well, kind of a DV pre.
Yeah, or not release
whatever.
party, but
yeah, the CD release party was in Edmonton, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah, but yeah, you know, I was just like, you can't say that to me. I think I was even sober, actually.
I hadn't met you yet at that point. I had actually gone to the bar and then came back and the cops were there. And
it was just down the road from the bar.
Yeah,
the movie theater.
Like a hop, skip, and a jump, and we were there. My friend Kim was like, "Yeah, let's go to the bar for a little bit." So we went to the Old Hole for a bit, or DV8 or whatever it was called at the time, and came back and the cops were there and everything. We're like, "Oh shit, what did we miss?" It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. That was you.
It's always been my thing. You know. I shouldn't say I hate to say it. I kind of like to say it. But.
Well, because you've, read the law and stuff. You're confident. What?
I read the RCMP local handbooks, and I can't remember the name of the textbook now.
Why didn't you go for that?
Oh, I didn't want to be an RCMP.
You don't like riding those horses or having... It's the pants? Is it the pants because they run out of fabric at the knee?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know what you're thinking.
Don't give me any shit about my pants.
Where the hell's that guy's pants? Tell you what, don't give me any shit about it.
Was that Hot Shots?
Yeah, I love Hot Shots. I love that.
It's a good movie. You guys check it out.
The enemy toast. Well, we'll have to change plans, but okay. I can't remember how he says it. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been that kid,
the cop mediator.
name and badge number guy, and again because I can sober myself up pretty quickly.
Oh,
whatever drugs or drinking we'd been doing, I was always that
Did
guy.
you just open your eyes really big?
You'd say, hey, Copper, why don't you just let us all go, Copper? Come on, man, be cool, man. Why don't you just let us go, man?
Don't you know who my dad is?
Yeah. Do you know who I am?
You're like, yeah, he'd be disappointed too, so get your shit together.
I could get you fired.
Oh my god. Was never like that.
No,
you
no,
weren't a bad
never
kid.
like that.
No.
And I was a good kid. That actually was a big reason why. I went on like a cop ride along a couple times and stuff through school, and they all knew me. They knew my whole family and everything too.
Yeah,
and
you had big brothers
the
that were
cops
good
that were
kids
cool,
too.
I was cool with. But because of the town and the way it was, their detachment, they always got like new members, new constables,
Yeah,
rookies
they got the
coming
new
through.
recruits because there was a high level of domestic violence there.
Is that why?
Yeah, being an oil field town.
Oh, really? Hey?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't necessarily know that.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
there's one of the highest,
Oh, crazy.
of domestic violence, and that's why they send a lot of the rookies there.
Yeah, so you'd get a lot of rookies that were literally trying to prove something.
Yeah.
And they would be in the wrong town to be doing that.
Yeah, they're trying to
unfortunately.
be extra tough because it's
Yeah.
probably scary.
And probably surrounded by 30 kids that, and we were kids, we were, 20?
Yeah.
Maybe give or take, so
Yeah.
I'm not as old as they were. Rookies that were 20-something, I guess, but, yeah. And,
I never had any trouble with the cops ever, really, anywhere. They've always been respectful, and the ones that I've had to deal with, and
me
good.
too, lots. Way
That
more.
one was a wild card, though.
That doesn't count.
He had his own
Yeah.
issues.
And that was very well known. That was known in town. He ended up getting, I don't know what run out of town, but he ended up training people in Kosovo because that was the only place that he could end up.
Yeah.
And I think he just went on his 30-year police record saying, hey, I could do this, and train them to go and thump heads.
They're like, he's a little aggressive. They're like, perfect.
Well, and he wasn't even a head thumper. That was the thing, he was a bit of a pussy at the same time, which you can't have in a cop.
No.
He was literally like the ego type of guy where he's all like a bully, where he's blah, 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 I like my power, but if any of that's challenged, then I'm a weak little mouse. And you can't have that in a cop.
He did back down?
Well, I never pushed him enough or anything physically at all. I never got aggressive ever like that. It was always just like...
Do you regret not pushing him more?
No, because that would have ended badly for me.
It would have been more explosive.
Yeah. And I can't remember exactly how it went down, but it was sort of weird because for a while I was in trouble from like my parents for getting pulled over all the time. And,
yeah, for sure.
And admittedly, 100% admittedly, I did lots of stunting and lots of speeding and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
But nobody ever got hurt. Nobody ever crashed.
Yeah.
I knew what I was doing.
You're the exception to the rule.
Well, okay. We'll go with that. Okay, I'll go with that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but sure, great. Okay, bust me on that. But then once you see that I'm not doing any of that, and I was very clean for a long time. Not clean. I never drove drunk or anything like that, or but like my record was
your driving record.
Totally nice and good for quite a while because it just got too expensive.
Drug record was all over the place.
Oh yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
He's trying all kinds of stuff.
No, not really, actually.
Here's this mushroom I found in the alley.
I didn't start
it's
it
in
until
a bag.
pretty late,
Should
actually.
be okay.
Should be okay. It's sealed.
Dry.
It's sanitized, right?
Dry.
What the hell? Dip that in some tea, maybe. That'll help.
Oh.
I didn't start smoking weed till I was like 17 and a half.
And a half?
Well, yeah, that's what I say.
And a half? Okay,
Ish.
so your birthday's in the fall.
Uh-huh.
So that would have been in the spring. So end of the year. Yeah. Were you in school or what's this?
It was a party.
Story there?
It was a party.
I like to party.
It was a bush party, we'd say. Down at the place, we called it.
You guys are so vague and mysterious.
We had the place.
Was there a lot
the
of...
point. I think there was the hill, the drop off. There's like Roller Coaster Road. That was a good one. Was,
my god! Who's naming these? Was this was just something that it passed down from brother to
apparently from generations because it was. I remember
like
it was
your
so
folks
funny.
would know where the place is.
Yeah,
and not because they had to pick you up drunk there.
Yeah, well, my dad. I remember still to this day that he was like. Well, where do the kids party these? Because I was like, we're going to go party. We're going to go to the bush and have a party or whatever. Like, did it, okay. And he was always really cool. Okay, if you're drinking, you just give me a call.
Yeah.
You give me a shout or whatever, find me or whatever, and I'll come and pick you up. And And I was always a good kid. I never drove when I was drunk or anything like that, right? So, yeah. So he's like, so where do the kids party these days anyways, like, or where are you going to be? I think maybe it was just in case something happens, maybe something like that. And I was like, oh, we're going down to the place. And he was just like, shook his head, kind of like, what? The place? You're partying at the place? And I'm like, yeah. Oh, where's that? Oh, down by the river and down by the gravel pits and da-da-da-da. He was like, well, that's where we used to party, down at the place. So then we ended up figuring out logistics, and they used to party down in the actual pit. And I said, well, there's too many beer bottles and shit in there, so we can't party in there. We have to go up top now.
Generations of empties.
Yeah. I'm like, thanks a lot.
Lord.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And I assume maybe there's still... It's kind of changed now. The gravel pit actually became more of an expanded gravel pit.
Park?
That's where we used to play paintball and stuff
isn't that part of
Oh, yeah, it's part of the whole
now
Eagle Point
system?
Blue Rapids Park there now, yeah.
Eagle Point Blue Rapids. Jason did a video for those guys.
That was a fun one, actually. That promo video got to go around to like all the different clubs and all the different recreation activities and stuff. And just, hey, I'm doing this video. Can I come along? Sure. And they just like, hey, we got an ATV for you, and you can cruise along with the side by side. And yeah, that was a blast. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Turns out you could do all kinds of stuff there.
Yeah, you never know.
All kinds of outdoor stuff.
All kinds of stuff in the park.
In summer and the winter. Well, I think you should tell us about the first time you smoked weed.
Oh, yeah. So, getting back to, at the place.
And you're 17 and a half.
That's a great segue, because that's where I smoked weed, was down at the place.
No way!
Yeah, that's kind of funny. It's where we're pretty good at these here.
Were you in a van down by the river?
I was, actually. It literally was a van down by the river.
Wasn't Chris Farley, though, was it?
No.
It was different Chris.
It was totally different Chris.
That kind of worked out.
I don't think he was living down there, though.
No, probably not.
Friend of the show, Chris.
Hi, Chris. We love you.
Yeah. No, actually, the very first time I did it, smoked it, was down there at the place, and he had this little skull pipe, and I remember trying it, and then thinking like, oh, okay, so
was it like ceramic or?
Yeah, okay. And the eyes the eyes glued up.
Ew.
Jesus Christ!
You guys were smoking glue through it?
The eyes
Sniffing
would glow.
Glue?
Yeah, so you're sniffing
glue. So you
glue
could smoke weed in the
pipe.
back, but the front, opened up the eye, and there was
amazing.
Some glue.
You just take a little hit of glue.
Yeah.
Actually, both at the same time.
Oh.
You take your hit of your hood of your pipe.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you in through your nose and take a good hit of glue or gas, or
either
whatever
way,
you want to put in
your eyes
there.
are burning.
Yeah, either way.
And you're gonna cough.
Either way, you're night
Night.
for a little while. Yeah.
Thank goodness he didn't have nefarious tendencies.
Either way, you're waking up with your friends going, hey, dude, wake up.
Are you
hey,
okay?
Shit.
You okay?
Holy shit, he's waking up. Oh God. Okay, good. My turn.
Like that salvia video.
Yeah. That was crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I did.
Or the mom and dad are
I
home
love
and
that
shit?
the dad came out and was like, enough of this, kids. They were like, probably in their 20s, but still.
Yeah. There's enough of that shit in my house.
Salvia. We talked about that before, though.
Oh, that was
a
so
different
funny.
episode. You guys
I still love
check
the
that
kid's
one.
reaction when it like do about 30 seconds. He flinches like crazy. He's like, "Oh, where am I?"
And
oh,
then
shit.
starts sliding and then pulling at his shirt. And
Yeah, so
I like
awesome.
that the one got up to help the other. I think they were brothers or something. The one got up to like help the other, but then there was just no way that he could even function. He just had to sit back down. The dad, I was like, oh, bless him for like coming out and helping them. I think it was 6 minutes long. It was like way too long, and then they had a time lapse of the dog being outside, and then the other guy coming back out and getting the camera.
Yeah.
Oh, Salvia.
I was just the poor dog. It's like, let the dog back in the house.
No, maybe it had been farting in the house, and they were like, "Stay out
okay.
there.
I can stay out there. Yeah.
Stay out there.
Have some salvia while you're out there.
No,
No,
I think the dad grabbed the bongs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so great.
Yeah, bongs. So what happened to you? So you were sniffing
smoking
glue,
weed the first
or
time.
there was no glue?
No glue.
So there was eyes
all made
that
up.
glowed.
Yeah, the eyes would glow in the pipe. It was a skull, and when you like lit it from the lighter and the bowl and everything lighting up, the eyes would light up. They were like sort of a clear ceramic-y kind of thing. It was kind of crazy.
That sounds fancy.
So it was pretty neat. Yeah. So then I tried it and didn't overly
inhale.
I don't know if I inhaled or not. Actually, now that I think about it, I might have just held it in my cheek.
Yeah, most
or
people hold it in their mouth,
yeah.
and then they're like,
Yeah. So then I didn't really feel anything at all, or the same as everybody's like, oh, I didn't get high on my first time or whatever. And then
just like you don't get pregnant on your first time.
I think that's how it works,
thing.
right? Yeah,
Science.
for sure. Yeah, or if you do it upside down or something. I think something like that.
I smoke my weed upside down so I don't get pregnant
time.
all the time. I'm upside down right now.
That's a good solution. I'm upside down right now. Anyway,
so
ramble on.
Was it hot box situation or like closed windows, open windows?
No, it was like big open side door on the van still,
nice.
and having it just inside with other people and like
springtime-ish.
Yeah,
okay,
that whole thing.
Yeah,
So then
17 and
tried
a half.
some, went back to the party, and I was definitely like, it was like, I think I'm in good with these people. I know most of these people, and I'm having a lot of fun with those people. But it was still like a little bit older than me-ish, like a year or two, kind of. And like, I never really have, and I know that nobody's ever really offered, so I don't know if I should be over there. But all my buddies are over there, and fuck that, I'm going over there to see what's there. So
they didn't all hide it and like look around.
No,
Okay,
I wasn't a narc or anything. I wasn't a dick.
They were. This is the guy that talks to the cops all the time.
Exactly.
I think he works with them.
Yeah, heads up. Yeah, he's FBI, man.
Hey guys, what are you doing over here? Just like leaning into,
dudes.
lifting up part of your shirt to talk into it. They're like, "What's he doing?"
Abracadabra, man. Anyway.
Yeah.
Tried it. Didn't really get much of it. Didn't notice too much other than, okay, I coughed a bunch.
Yep.
And then went back to the party, hung out for a bit, and then obviously got de-stoned or sobered up or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And then I definitely felt like, well, this party's a lot crappier now. Sort of deal.
It's
like,
less fun than when you were
baked. As opposed to 2 minutes ago, what happened here? Kind of deal. It was like, I mean, it's still fun and all, but what happened? It took me a few minutes to realize. So then I went back and like, hey, can I get some of that off you? Or how's that work? Kind of deal. I got like $20 or $10 or whatever, and I know he gave me a lot for what I paid.
He's generous.
And then let me borrow his pipe and everything, and I think I went back to my car
with
a couple people.
Did he go to school with your older brother, or he's like it's an in between because there's 4 years in between your brothers, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and he's like 2 years older than you.
I think so. Yeah.
So
give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's exactly.
Yeah.
It was sort of
okay.
like he knew.
You guys were all at the same school at the same time. But yeah. Okay.
And me and my brothers were never in the same school. Like
right,
I think my parents parted it on purpose, sort of like that, 4-year gap. Just because.
Yeah.
And
you want to make sure they get out of diapers before you're into the next set of diapers. Jeez. You don't have to buy 2 sizes. I'm sure that's the whole plan.
Hand-me-down diapers. Yeah. That's what you're going for there. That was a great laugh. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, go back to my car, pack a bowl, smoke it, puke my guts out from coughing. I just coughed and coughed and
coughed. Like out of your car or in your car?
Out of my car.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I was standing sort of leaning up against my car. And I never smoked anything. We talked about that on the last one, me trying to smoke. And
trying to be a cigarette smoker.
It was like a year before that I tried. Didn't work. Didn't like it. So I was like, well, fuck it. Let's try it.
Maybe weed might be a thing.
You never know.
You never know.
And then, puked my guts out.
I do like jazz.
And then I totally stood up. And I was just like, oh, my eyes were barely open. And I was just like, my whole body was tingling. I was like, oh, okay.
Oh, you had the whole bowl.
Oh yeah, just the whole thing. Just rocked it all the way down. And was like, holy shit, okay. And it was just pretty much uphill from there.
Just still on that ride. Still chasing that the whole time. Chasing that sheeple.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh. Kind of funny. So anyway, I had a weird long segue into my first time smoking weed. But
Jason's first time.
Yeah. That'll be on the description. Jason's first time.
Yeah. ...
Do you remember yours?
Yeah, I smoked hash first, even though I grew up on Denman Island and lots of people had weed around, and my first stepdad, my mom grew some weed for him, back in the day. But I was product of the the 80s, right? So it's like the DARE program, drugs are bad. My
Right.
mom didn't want me doing drugs because she didn't really do drugs. She sometimes smoked weed, like, very rarely, like, a few times a year. She didn't drink much or anything either.
My parents didn't, like, at all.
Yeah.
They were very, not very anti-drug.
Well, it was illegal, so I
yeah.
think that was a big part of it.
That was
Nobody
the
wanted to
biggest.
get into any extra trouble.
Yeah, that was the biggest part of it.
Yeah, don't make yourself
Yeah.
a target. Or a deadbeat. My mom was like, it makes you lackadaisical.
Oh, yeah.
Lackadaisical?
Lackadaisical?
Lackadaisical,
Good word. Yeah.
So she didn't like it.
Which it kind of, it does, or it can.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Now there's so many strains now, you can really...
The South Park episode where it's Towley and he gets high all the time, they talk about it on there, and I always like their perspective where it's like, it's easy to make it be okay being bored.
Yeah.
It's a good filler to be like, well, what am I going to do today? Oh, nothing. I'll smoke weed all day. Kind of, it's easy to get into that slump of it. I try to, like, focus it into creativity or energy or...
You're really thrusting a lot
really
there.
doing
He's
this whole
really
thrust thing,
thrusting, you guys.
but,
I don't know if I got mixed feelings about this movement.
It keeps me virile.
It's
That's
like
what I'm going for there, I
he's
guess.
trying to scoot his canoe into the water or something. It's like, I think I've seen that move before.
Doing the old canoe scoot.
Yeah, scooching it up.
Canoe scooting boogie. Hey, what you were saying?
About
smoking weed.
Yeah, the first time I tried it, I was like, I'd gone out to Alberta to see my brother, and they were hot knife and hash.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they had
Sweet.
the burner on full blast and a couple of Hardy knives in there. You got to get like the Hardy knives, like the restaurant style heavy duty ones, otherwise the handles get too hot.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they just stick them in there, and then they had little balled up hash because you couldn't find weed in Alberta back then, or like mid 90s or whatever. And and so that's what we did. We just did like some hot knives of hash, and
That's so great.
and I was like, yep, that's pretty cool. I like to laugh. Like, my brother and I got along really good growing up and laughed about, a lot of stuff. So, yeah, it was fun. His partner was into it, too. So, yeah, that was
Seen
it.
a couple bad hot knife accidents.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, I don't recommend that being
Yeah.
here. I saw a
It
meme.
works, though.
I saw a meme today saying that was a vintage vape.
That's great.
Was the
That's
people that
so
vape.
awesome.
It's basically like vaping now. You can vape your hash, but we just had to like press it and sometimes a knife would slide off. Yeah, and then my roommate in hairdressing school, she smoked weed and did
Yeah, eh?
blades
Hash
all
blades.
the time too. We even did weed ball blades because she was from Alberta. She was from Lethbridge. So that was, that's what we all did. So and I mean, you could use a teeny tiny little bit and you got really fucking blazed.
Yeah, that's the whole point. When you
Yeah.
don't have much weed, all it goes a gram between
it's
four of us.
Compressed.
What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah. Compress, concentrate it,
Yeah, for sure.
crank up the stove.
So those were my first couple times. They were, fairly uneventful. And then just my roommate smoked it. And then pretty much the whole rest of my life, I've smoked it on and off.
Yeah, eh?
Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. I don't find I really drink anymore because I get really bad heartburn from booze. So,
It's a good
don't smoke cigarettes anymore.
alternative, I guess.
Yeah, it's been 12 years since I quit smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, hey? That's sweet.
It's crazy.
Well, that's usually when I find people have to, like, quit both for a while.
Yeah.
At least for a while, if not forever.
Well, that's like smoking and drinking, or if you quit smoking cigarettes, too. A lot of people like to smoke with their coffee in the morning or whatever, so you
right.
have to, like, sort of cut off all of those things.
The
to
habit of it.
Yeah, you get used to you start new rituals.
Right.
I've heard is really helpful when you're quitting things.
Which is super awesome a lot of times when you're, cutting out all your vices that keep you from being pissed off at the world.
Yeah, it's like
whatever.
People
whatever
that
people
quit
do,
drinking, they kind of have to find new friend circles, and
I guess, yeah, hey?
Yeah,
you find new things and
you find your tribe.
new whatevers.
We're glad we found you guys, and you guys found
Yay!
us. Share us with your friends.
Oh,
Like if you think there's other people that are like us that would be part of the crew.
That's one of the things we hear lots of is like lots of people listen to the podcast to feel better.
Oh, yeah.
I find, we've heard that from a few different people now, and that it's like sort of cozy and just hanging out and
like hanging out with our friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love to hang out with you guys, so really super stoked that you're into hanging out. So
yay. Yeah, come on by, hang out anytime.
yeah, check us out on Facebook.
At We Can't Pick.
Check us out on Instagram.
Oh, also at We Can't Pick.
And yeah, we hope you guys keep her tight.
Oh, keep it real.
And keep her real.
Real tight.
Love you guys. Proud of you for making it through another week. And thanks for joining us on the podcast. Okay, well, we'll talk to you next time. And keep your ears open for a quickie about maybe some stew and winter sports.
Stupendous.
Winter activities.
Stupor. That'll put you in a stupor and stuff.
Maybe we'll cut before all of these bad things Jason's doing.
Bad stew puns.
Okay, love you guys.
Love you guys. Have fun.
Bye. Wrapping it up in a nice little bow. I really hope you liked all of our stories. We don't really have an outro yet. We hope we didn't cause too many bories. That's when you get bored and you're like, fuck this, and you space out and you look over there. You don't want to quit listening 'cause you love us and you're putting up with our shenanigans.